Okay, so the first thing I do is I get the audio file from my client, whether it's through Riverside or Gmail, however you get the audio. I get it through Riverside because it's just easier for them to use that as a platform to record, and then it just uploads it here. So then I can just go into the project, pull up the video, and then once I scroll down here, I can extract the high quality raw audio. Of course, that's going to take a second to download up here in the top right. And then once that's ready, I also have something called Descript. It is another platform similar to Riverside, but it has, in my opinion, better AI features. So I use this to get rid of any filler words that may be in there. It saves a ton of time. So we will upload the file here, which is up here in my downloads. Drag and drop. Ooh, I need to pay my bill. Okay, so now we have the file uploaded and it has presented us with the text. And it will find a lot of these commonly used filler words, and you can actually just cut those right out. I don't delete them, I only remove them. They're still in the original file, so just in case, you know. And then I use Studio Sound is the other AI feature that I use, because even if you have a great studio sound, this helps smooth it over. It also makes it more consistent when you remove the filler words. Otherwise, you'll get these unwanted breaths, and you don't want that in there, and that's something you have to worry about in post. Again, that requires listen through. So I start with Studio Sound and run that. And this AI function actually does help with reverb as well. It can significantly cut down your reverb, but I would suggest having no reverb to begin with, and then you'll have a perfectly polished sound afterwards. Okay, so it sounds nice and clean. Now let's go back to our AI and remove the filler words. And as you can see, this happens really quick. It asks you to delete or ignore. We're just gonna ignore. Okay, so it's cut out the uhs, the ums, the you knows, and it's made it a little more engaging just from doing that. And in combination with Studio Sound, it's not noticeable. You don't hear a lot of breaths, so sounds great. So now I got that where I want it. And because of these two AI features, I don't have to do an entire listen through. Now, some people want to do an entire listen through. Some people pay for an entire listen through. That's fine. This client in particular is not paying for listen through, so we're not going to do it. Okay, so now I am loading my audio into my digital audio workstation. I use Studio One Pro. I just love the workflow that it has, and I have presets and templates set in a place that saves me a lot of time. Here you can see that I already have Exposure Scientist Podcast as one of my templates. The templates save me a ton of time because I know what tools need to be used with this particular podcast. This is I think this might be around the 10th or 11th one, I'm not sure, that I've done for Alex. Okay, so now you can see where I already have the intro, the disclaimer, an ad, and outro. These will all be assembled with the podcast itself. So I'm going to drag and drop that in now. Pretty straightforward here. I'm going to drag it to where it comes in at the end of the disclaimer. Okay, so assembly is as simple as that. I'm putting the intro and the ad on the beginning, the ad here in the middle, find a decent space, a good break point to do that, and then I put the outro over here on the end. And because it's just assembly, I'm not going to do an entire listen through. And then we'll export it like this. Everything should be good to go. Now I have the completed episode, and this is ready for delivery. And I normally just use Google Drive to do this. And then once I send that to the client, they can upload it to whatever platform they want. Like I said, I have a WAV file and an MP3 file. That way they can use the MP3 for Spotify because that's what's required with their uploads. So here you can see that I am uploading the files, MP3 and WAV, to Gmail, and then I'll send it that way. Some people like to use Dropbox. Some people also like to use WeTransfer. Whatever it is, as long as it gets the file there in the fidelity that I intended.